Hi, everyone. Okay, it's time to go live. Wellness Wednesday. Trying to do a little bit better with the eye movement. I don't know. I'm on Instagram over here. Hi, Instagram, and I'm on Facebook over here. So until we can figure out how to get those two to unite in one camera, I'm going to be talking to you as if you are a group. So just think of it maybe that way. Yeah, so I want to just give a little hi, Charlotte. Long time no see. How are the oils doing? Still loving mine. Um, Anybody interested in doTERRA oil? Charlotte Snow is your lady. She is great. So, hopping on today to talk about groups. But before I do that, I want to give a little shout out to what's going on the blog. As I mentioned in the past few videos, I am expanding the blog. Hey, Nick, how's it going? My West Coast crew is hopping on today. Usually I have a few more people from the East Coast. So the blog, Peaceful Living Wellness, we are all about giving you tons of value about peaceful living, tons of value about how to bring more peace and joy into your life. And so one of the ways I'm doing that is to really embrace my ideology of building community, and that is being portrayed in two ways. One is that I have this great Facebook group that is all about community. It's called Empowered Through Peace, and I would love it to see any of you jump in there and be part of our community. It is a place where we can support each other, inspire each other, and motivate each other. So Empowered Through Peace on Facebook. Love to have you as part of that community. The other thing is that I'm very excited. We have a wonderful guest blog being posted this week from Erin Altman, who is a financial coach. Erin is an MBA, and she is by trade an accountant, so she doesn't do financial investing per se. But what she is doing in addition to accounting, after working for many years with people on their personal and business finances, is she's going into financial coaching. And in doing that, she's helping people to learn how to change their money mindset. That's what this week's blog is about. And think of money as something that is good, something that is healthy for you, and talking about how to grow your financial assets. So she works with people on budgeting, she works with people on saving, she works with people on how to really think in abundance when it comes to money. But she's not the person that you go to who's trying to sell you some kind of investment package. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We all have to have our investments at some point or another, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because she's doing the pre-work. She's doing the work that some of us, myself included, need to do in order to get that nest egg going so then we can invest it. So anyway, this week is her first blog, and she will be blogging for us once a month, and this week's blog is the basics about money mindset. So again, we're all about value for our tribe here at Peaceful Living Wellness. And I also love to be able to say we, because Peaceful Living Wellness is no longer just Jen. Hi, Nellie, how's Florida? Hey, I'm gonna be in Miami next week. I'm very excited. I know I won't be able to see you because you're in Naples, but maybe we can figure out a way that we can meet somewhere at another time. It'll just be fun to be in Florida. So, again, Peaceful Living Wellness is not just me anymore. Yay! I'm so excited about that. We are building the tribe, and we have all of these wonderful guest bloggers. I am going to be doing more and more Facebook Live interviews with, hey, Linda. Hey, Bobby. Wonderful Facebook Live interviews with my guest bloggers, and I'm going to be doing live workshops in the Empowered Through Peace group. So again, bringing in all of this melding of the minds on all things peace and joy. Okay, so I have to share something funny with y'all. You guys know that I was travel vlogging from Atlanta last week. And the really awesome thing about that trip is that I was with my son. And he says to me along the way, AJ's almost 15, so this will explain part of why he's saying what he's saying. Mom, I just wish you did something that wasn't all about peace and love. He's killing me. So I love that though, because, oh, Gretchen, long time no see. How are you? Give a big hug to your hubby for me too. Some of my really good friends from way back. So yeah, what is Peaceful Living Wellness about? It's all about peace and love. Sorry, AJ, that you don't like that, but hopefully he'll learn to like it later. But I wanted to talk about that, not only because it's ridiculous and funny and cute, but because I told him, look, honey, the reason that I do what I do is because my life before Peaceful Living Wellness was all about stress and sorrow and sadness. And I decided I don't want to live my life like that anymore. And I want to be able to share my journey, the things that I have learned, because most of you who have known me for a while know that I am a voracious learner. So I'm constantly learning, constantly exploring, constantly experimenting with new mindfulness techniques, with new ways of finding joy and peace. And I was able to say to him, I do this because this is what is important to live a happy and joyful life. And I see so many people who are living lives that are full of stress, full of sorrow, and I'm not necessarily just engulfed in that all the time, but just maybe even at that place where you're just like chugging along, stressed out, I'm busy, I'm stressed out, I'm busy, and oh, this person did this, and oh, this person did that. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to live like that anymore. Life is definitely stressful. It definitely is. East Coast, West Coast, there's not a difference in terms of the stress levels. It's about your mindset. It's about bringing peaceful living, joyful living techniques into your life. Okay, so enough of all that. Join me on the blog. Sign up to get the blog in your email. Once a week, you're going to get great stuff, not just from me, but from all sorts of wonderful guest bloggers. And we've got lots of new freebies that are coming your way too. I have a new web guy and he's awesome. And we're putting together a whole page of different freebies for y'all. So that's exciting. Now, let's talk about Sonoman. Speaking of one of my guests, Sonoman did a wonderful workshop on Facebook Live for us on rituals. And even though it's not live anymore, it is still in the recorded version. If you are interested in learning more about the power of rituals and how to bring ritual into your daily life, just go on to Peaceful Living Wellness Facebook page and you can find it there. It's on YouTube. Sorry, senior moment. It's on YouTube. And rituals are a beautiful way to bring more peace into your life. So let's jump into today's topic now that I've been talking for 8 minutes. Jeez. I want to talk about groups. Now, this is something that came up in one of my coaching sessions. One of my wonderful clients who I love, is dealing with some issues with a team that she's working with at work. And during coaching, I don't give a lot of advice. I talk about different ways of thinking about things. I talk about ways to support yourself. But what I do, yes, right, baking. Roberta is a great cook and baker, and she does that to feel happy. She's also another amazing oils person. Roberta's your East Coast girl. Charlotte's your West Coast girl for oils. But that's what this is for. That's what this forum is for. It's for advice. Now, some people will say, well, you're a coach. You're not supposed to give advice. You know what? During coaching, you're right. I give minimal advice. I make suggestions and I support people in thinking for themselves. But when I first went into therapy 20 years ago, when I was a hot mess in graduate school, you guys hear me talk about graduate school all the time. the thing that that therapist did for me is she gave me advice, and therapists aren't supposed to give advice either, but she knew instinctively that that is what I needed. And so I do like to do these little Facebook Lives. I like to, in the blog, talk more advice oriented from the point of view of being a sister. And I always wish that I had a sister I could turn to for advice. I have a sister, but she and I are not very close. I have two, but we're not close in that way. So this is where I'm coming from. I'm not saying like, this is how it has to be. I'm not trying to give unsolicited advice. I'm saying that in my experience, this is what has worked for me. Maybe you can try it on for size. And that's all it is. It's just suggestions of things to try on for size that have worked for peaceful living for me. So, all right, jumping in, groups. What I have found in my lifetime, and also through some study of group dynamics, is that there are several different types of people within a group dynamic. There are the leaders, there are the free riders, there are the drama kings and queens, and there are the mediators. Now, you don't want to be any of these things in the extreme. So what happens in a group dynamic where you have some really strong personalities and you have the leaders, you have the free riders, you have the drama kings and queens, and you have the mediators. So when the dynamic is off, and that's what we're talking about today, we're talking about the dynamic being off. The leaders will come in, and maybe if we want to talk about them being really out of balance, the leader will become the controller. And when the rest of the team isn't functioning, the leader comes in and says, forget this, my patience is gone, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it all. And then that person feels like a martyr, usually. The drama king or queen then goes, oh, the leader's taking on everything and doing everything for us and telling us what to do, and hey, Steph, and oh my gosh, I can't believe he or she is acting that way, whatever, and starts going off on the drama, right? The free rider goes, hey, cool, I got other things to do. He wants to do that, the leader wants to do that, she wants to do that, let him. And then the mediator is in there trying to fix everything. Okay, this isn't going well. This is not going well. And the drama king is talking, queen is talking to the mediator and saying, you know, the leader's doing this, blah, 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 blah. And the free rider is going, hey, you know, mediator, I can't handle. So can you just handle this? And the leader is going, well, it doesn't matter anyway, because you guys all won't do anything, so I'm going to do everything, right? Have any of you ever been in a group scenario like that? Maybe think back to your college group project days. A lot of the people who are on this call right now are entrepreneurs and maybe not working in groups so much anymore, but maybe think back to your corporate days. So here's where I come in on this. We all want to be in a place where we're getting along and we're getting the work done. When I first advertised this, I said, teamwork makes the dream work, right? That's an old silly saying, but it really does. So let's think about how each of these roles can be put more into balance. So let's talk about the leader. Well, the leader can come in, and as everybody's kind of milling around going, we don't know what to do, we don't have any direction, the leader can come in and suggest direction. Ask for opinions. The leader can provide the scaffolding that the group needs. Again, if the leader comes in and says, fine, I'm just going to do it all, or the leader comes in and criticizes or bosses around, that's not going to work. But if the leader comes in and says, hey, what do you guys think about this? And what do you guys think about trying these different things on for size? What do you guys think we could try on for size? That's a very different style of leadership than being condescending and power tripping and just taking everything over. So that's one way of bringing things back into balance if you're more of a leader personality. What if you are, or your colleagues are more of the free rider? Nobody really wants to admit to being a free rider, right? Well, none of us are going to say, well, yeah, I'm the one who lets everybody else do the work. I just realized I forgot to turn the microphone on today. I hope the sound quality is okay. So in order to avoid free ridership, we always want to self-evaluate. We want to make sure that we are putting in the work that we need to put in. So that's one thing that we can do. But let's talk about this from the perspective of the other people in the group. If you're one of the other people in the group and you have a free rider. Well, again, with gentle reminders that can also be seen as directives, free riders can be brought along the way without even realizing that it's happening. Also with free riders, it is really important to set boundaries. So what do I mean by boundaries? Okay, here's a scenario. Okay, you're in a group that you all have to get something done, but you have a person in your group who keeps saying, you know what, I got to go pick up my kids, I can't make the group. Or, you know what, I got a deadline on this other project, I'll get back with you guys later. This is where gentle boundaries come in. And remember, you guys, boundaries are not walls. A boundary coming from other members of the group, this could be the mediator, it could be the leader, can come in and say, your work is really valued and we understand that you have these other responsibilities, but so do we. And so we need your valuable work. We need your valuable brain power as part of this group. If you add a compliment in, if you give somebody some encouragement by saying, hey, we really like what you have to say, even if you don't, do it anyway. You can find something positive in everybody. So, hi, Ricky. So, yeah, come in there and set some boundaries, but don't do it in a way that you're issuing directives again. Now, what about the drama king or queen? Well, the drama king or queen, again, some self-examination. Am I a person who is freaking out about everything all the time? If that is me, and I have been known to do that, I tend to be more the leader, and when I get out of balance, I will boss people around. I haven't done that, hopefully in a long time. But if you feel like you're so stressed out by this and you're talking about it all the time, you might be on the road to the drama king or queen. And we want to avoid that. So what we want to talk about here is, how do you take a deep breath and be a valuable part of the group? For me, that comes down to self-nurture. You know, when you're not at work, when you're not in this volunteer situation, whatever it is that you're involved with in the group, make sure you are keeping your stress levels down. Make sure you are really taking good care of yourself. Now, again, what about from everybody else in the group? What about from the people who are dealing with the drama king or queen? Again, this is all about boundaries and compliments. So set a boundary by saying, you know what, we really understand that you are stressed out about this. This is a stressful situation. But we also really value when you give us your constructive feedback. And unfortunately, when all we're doing is being mired in the stress, in other words, when all we're doing is complaining, but we don't say that, right? When all we're doing is being mired in the stress, we don't get a lot of constructive work out of that. We don't get a lot of constructive ideas out of that. So we really believe that you have so much value you can add. Thanks, Ricky. So much value you can add. Let's try to get out of the negative and think about the positive. Now that brings us to the mediator. How many of us have been the mediator? I definitely have, where the drama king or queen is going with all that negativity in your ear, and the free rider is saying, hey, I got to go pick up my kids. Would you mind doing this for me? And the leader is going, you know, I just need you guys to function, and right? So the mediator gets all this piled on him or her. And that's a hard place to be. Now, that's the place my client was in when we were talking about this a few weeks ago. She's the mediator. She's the fixer. Everybody goes to her to fix everything. And honestly, it's because she's good at it. She's good at fixing things. She's good at remaining chill. The problem is that she's so pent up from all the stress of the stuff that people are piling on her. Her health is, yeah, middle child, right, Roberta? Middle children get this all the time. Her health is starting to give her problems, and she's only in her 30s. So what I'm working on with her is setting boundaries for her team. What I'm working on with her is to say, I am not going to fix all this, you guys. I can, along with the leader, she's actually in both roles, provide scaffolding. But I can't fix everything. And again, I can set a boundary. This is what she's telling herself. I can set a boundary with these people. So she's working on communicating with the drama king about all of his complaining and saying, again, I understand how stressful this is. It is. We have a whole new project that we have to work on that was just placed on us at the last minute, because that's what's going on. They have to redo something at the last minute, and they don't have very much time to do it in. And she has to say to him, I'm there with you. I understand the stress, but let's redirect this to really focus on being constructive and getting it done. She has to say to the free rider, I understand you have a lot of kids. I have a kid too, and I get it. But at the same time, we got to get this done. We got to focus on this. And if you keep leaving the meetings, we can't get it done. So again, she's in the position of being both leader and mediator, but I'm trying to get her to stop taking on all the work herself, because that's what they're trying to get her to do. Maybe not intentionally, but as a mediator and a leader, she's taking it all on. And she's putting in 14-hour days. And is that fair to her? No. Is it good for her? No. So by providing scaffolding and boundaries, she can protect herself, but she can also, and this is the underlying thing here, you guys, she can empower the other members of the team to believe in themselves and to take constructive action in the team. So that's the beauty of these techniques, is you are protecting yourself while empowering others. I use this all the time in parenting, and I am not one to say that I am the perfect parent. No way. But this is something that I have learned in all of the parenting literature and through all of the different people I've seen for parenting, because you all know I have a high needs child. So this is something I've learned in parenting too. And it's just echoing the things that I learned about group dynamics and communication from my first career in academia. So again, boundaries and empowerment. That's how we can deal with the dynamic in dysfunctional groups. And this was just a quickie. I know there's a lot more that can be said. Mindful communication, I talk about that all the time. But let me end on this. I am so grateful for all of you who have hopped in. Anybody who is willing to leave some comments, I would love it. And by the way, by comments, I mean add on to the conversation. Or tell me, great job, Jen, or nah, I think you were off on this, Jen. That's fine too. And if you want more of this kind of thing, jump into Empowered Through Peace, my Facebook group, and subscribe to the blog, peacefullivingwellness.com, and comments are welcome on there. My blog is supposed to be a conversation, but people aren't leaving comments. So I'm getting lots of traffic, lots of people staying on the blog and reading it. I get to watch that through Google Analytics, but nobody's leaving comments. So let's get a conversation going on this stuff. You guys are all valuable. And I want to be here to support you, and I want to be here for you to support each other as well. All right, y'all, been on for 25 minutes. That's a long time for Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your week, and happy Wellness Wednesday. Bye-bye now.